different channels, then you can see that this here changes, and this shows me the channel strip. It's actually exactly the same information that I would get if I pushed X and I went to my mixer. See, it's highlighted and it looks exactly the same. Now, when you want to add an effect, so let's say we want to add an effect to the disco guitar. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solo the guitar, because I don't want any of the other instruments in there. I want to be able to hear just the effects that I'm adding, which is great. So now if I play this, see, it's soloed. The only thing that's coming out is going to be that guitar. The next thing I want to do is maybe I want to loop it. So this is a great thing that Logic has, and you can see it's called cycle range up here. If I click on it, it will go yellow. If I drag it, I can move it to exactly where I want. If I want to make it bigger, I can just grab the ends, again just drag and pull. If I want to make it smaller, you can go like that. You can have a really small loop. It's not going to sound very good, but you can absolutely do that. Now I'm just going to loop it into one of these cycles, which means it's just going to loop round and round, so I'm not going to have to get to the ends and have to go back to the beginning and press play again. Now, let's have a look at some of the effects. So I'm going to press X again. I'm going to get rid of this mixer. And we're just going to be using this channel here on the side. So you can see I've already got my level, I've already got my panning. And what we're going to do is go up here where it says Audio FX. So we know that's where the effects are. And Logic has inbuilt loads and loads of different effects. First thing, for the guitarists out there, we've got our amps and pedals. We have Amp Designer and we have Pedal Board. Really, really good fun to use. Let's just have a little look at Amp Designer. And it will come up with pictures of the amps. Now, I think for copyright reasons, they obviously can't call this a Vox, but as we know, this is a Vox amp. If I want to change it, I go up here to Factory Default, and I click that, and you see it's actually got some nice clean, crunch, and distorted channels. Let's just have a look at the distorted one. So let's go for Modern Classic. I believe that's a Marshall. No, it's still a Vox. Oh no, there it is. There's the Marshall. This works exactly how an amp would. So I've got my gain, so I can add more or less distortion. Got my EQ, I can see that mids and trebles a bit high. Got my reverb that I can turn on or off. I'm probably going to turn it on actually. And then you've got the effects even built into here, into this amp, such as there's a tremolo and there's also, oh yeah, it's just tremolo, oh, vibrato as well. So I can turn that on and off just by clicking. We've got our presence, which essentially just adds treble, and we've got our master volume as well. Now, the other really cool thing about this is I can choose the mic that I want it to pick up the cab, and I can move the mic around as well, which is very, very cool. Normally, you'll find this in your practical lessons. We put the mic to the side of the speaker cone. Sounds better, it really does. And you can choose which mic you want. I'm going to go for a 57. This is actually, it's an industry standard and it's what we use mostly at the college to record. So I've got that there, got that slightly on the side. Now when I play, because I've got my gain quite loud, when I play it is going to sound a lot more distorted. So let's have a listen. So if I turn the gain up and down, sounds quite nice actually. Same with the reverb. That might be a bit too much, but it's actually quite nice having a little bit on there. Just show you these effects. Crank it up. You've got vibrato. Sounds better without that, I think. So I'm going to leave that on. Actually, that sounds quite good. And I want to add more effects. All you do is this is your amp. If I want to see this, all I have to do is double click it or single click it, and it will come up. I believe it's single click actually. Yeah, single click, and it will come up. But let's add another effect. Let's see what else Logic has got. So we've got a distortion, but to be honest, if I was doing a guitar track, I would use this one because it sounds better for guitars. We've got our delay. Let's have a little look at the delay. Again, you can use any of them. Let's just try stereo delay. So again, I go to stereo delay and go to stereo rather than dual mono. Stereo is always the best one to go for. Now it can look a little bit daunting, but don't forget, Logic's got all these presets. So all you have to do is go up to the factory default. Every plugin has got this factory default section at the top, and you can go and you can find the thing that you want. Let's just try an eighth note. Let's just try a normal eighth note. Okay, this is how it sounds. Quite delayy, but what I can do is I can turn it down using the output mix. Sounds quite nice. Let's add something else. What else have we got? Looking dynamics. This is where we've got our compressors, noise gates and things like that. To be honest, I'll probably do another video about these because they're really important. I think they deserve a video all of themselves. Filter. This one is quite good fun. So again, I'm just going to go to stereo, up to my factory default, and let's just have a look. Let's try this to the Boston, the Wah Wah filter. It's quite good fun. That sounds quite cool. And you can just go all the way up and down. You go to modulation. This is where you're going to find your chorus, your phaser, and your flanger and stuff like that. Let's just find this rotor cabinet. A rotor cabinet is actually used for a what's it called? A Hammond organ, and it's a speaker that they use. And essentially, the speaker turns around, much like this spinning wheel, which gives it a really natural kind of chorus effects. So again, this is what it looks like. As I can choose the mics, I can probably move them about. Oh no, I can just choose which mic I want. But I quite like this setup. I think that'll sound really good. So again, I can go to my factory default, and you can choose whichever one you want. Let's just go for Gig Rig. Might as well. You can see the spinning there. I quite like the graphics. So that's actually how it works. It's a spinning speaker, and it's going to give you this sort of wobbly, tremolo-y sound. Have a listen. Let's say I want to see how it sounds without. All I do is I hit the power button. So now it's not working, and now it is working. There's another way you can do it, just on here. You can go to the power buttons here. So that was clean. That was how we started off. We added the amp. We added the filter. Added the delay. We added the rotor cabinet. It's just the rotor cabinet on its own. And again, you can have a play around with these. You can really hear how it's sounding. That does sound quite cool. That sounds a bit like John Scofield. I think I'm going to keep it like that. And then let's take it off solo. We can hear it with the rest of the track. Gives it a new flavour. So have a little go. Have a little go at trying out some different effects on your instruments.